It is an honor to call you a friend and my council member, and I look forward to voting for you many, many more times until you decide you're done with that office. Friends, when I look out at you, I can't help but feel both humbled and honored. I see so many familiar faces, friends, folks that have supported me for years, and I thank you for being here and for continuing to believe in me no matter what the title on the logo says or what organization that I'm working with or begging you to give money to. I debated with myself what I was really going to talk about or what I was going to say this evening, and I think it's fairly safe assumption that I don't really have to tell you my name, but in the event that any of you I didn't get to meet and you stumbled into the wrong place, my name is Josh Murs, and I'm running for state treasurer. And I could spend this whole time talking about the current governor and his treasurer and how they have Kentucky moving on the wrong path, but I'm not going to do that. I can talk without end about the ideological differences between the administration and what I believe in and what I think you believe in, but I'm not going to do that either. Instead, I want to talk about us. I want to talk about what we can achieve as a group. And throughout this campaign, you're going to hear me spend time discussing three major areas of focus. And the first is experience and background. You're going to hear me talk about who I am and why I believe that on the ballot in 2019, there is nobody, either in the primary or in the general election, that has the combined unique experience and background that I do to serve as your state treasurer. I'm fortunate to own a very small business, an insurance and financial services agency, and that affords me the ability to view policy with an eye on our small businesses. And when I say it's a small business, I'm fortunate to have the one employee that I have who works with me and manages to keep me from going broke while running around running for office. The thing about small business is it is the real economic engine of Kentucky. And it's important that we have folks that understand that. As you probably know, I've been an advocate, and as Kathy pointed out, I've been an advocate for this community and especially for the social justice of our community for the better part of my adult life. For a little more than 4 years, I served as the chair of Lexington Fairness, and the person that replaced me, I saw her somewhere, is Tuesday Meadows, who will do a fantastic job of cleaning up the messes that I made. And if you've seen the first video that we launched for the campaign last Wednesday, if you haven't, then I really want you to go look at it because I think we delivered a very good, important message in it. But in that video, I talked about being proud that in my years of community advocacy that I was able to lend my voice to the voiceless, that I was able to stand for those that could no longer stand, and that I was able to give a little bit of hope for those that had lost theirs. I feel like so many times aspects or parts of our community are left forgotten or willfully ignored, and that's why we need leaders that are willing to stand for them. I believe and I'm proud of the work that together the people in this room and the people that were unable to be here, that we've been able to accomplish to make Lexington a better and more fair place. Now, I won't pretend that the job is finished, but I think we should all take pride in knowing how far we've come. I was appointed by Mayor Jim Gray, who couldn't be with us tonight because he's off enjoying no longer being the mayor and enjoying the retired life that comes with that. But he sends his regards and expresses his excitement for our campaign. And he appointed me to the Human Rights Commission, where for the last 3 years I've served as that governmental agency's treasurer, where I've been your watchdog of your tax dollars on that agency. Now, the second part that you'll hear me talk about is the importance of the office. There are several statutorily mandated responsibilities of the job. And it's my job as a candidate to make sure that people understand why it's important, why the treasurer's office is a vital part of state government. And I get it. The treasurer is often overlooked. There have been people in the past that have campaigned to get rid of the office. But that's a direct result of the failure of our current treasurer to make sure that the people of the Commonwealth understand the importance of that position. Of course, the most obvious, you monitor the checkbook. You monitor our deposits and you balance that checkbook to make sure that Kentucky is reporting a solid financial state. Unclaimed property is a term that you're going to hear tossed around quite often, but it is really actually important because it's your property. And we need a treasurer that focuses on making an efficient and effective measure to get that property back into the hands of the people that it belongs to. Equally important is the job of the treasurer in improving financial literacy, because we're failing as a state to make sure that our kids are prepared to be adults. Now, we passed a piece of legislation last year that sought to address that, but like so often in Frankfort, they failed to provide the resources or the money or the tools to make sure that we were effectively able to teach those kids. You'll hear about the boards that the treasurer sits on, and there's some important ones. The Kentucky Teacher Retirement System, the Lottery Board, the Kentucky Higher Education Authority, the State Investment Commission are to name a few. So aside from the pulpit of a statewide elected office, the treasurer has a mandated voice in the livelihoods of our teachers, our students, and our communities that are dependent upon smart, proactive investments. And now the third and final piece, and this is where you're going to see the difference between myself and anybody else on that ballot, is a vision for the office that is more than what we've been doing. Now, we've had strong treasurers in the past. Jonathan Miller, you may remember, was the treasurer several years ago when he created the Cradle to College Initiative, which created college savings plans that helped to make college an affordable and a possibility for so many Kentuckians. There are some that will say that the state treasurer should just be signing checks and they shouldn't step outside of that role. But I'm not believing it, I'm not buying it. I believe that we can and we should demand more from our elected officials. Our treasurer has the ability and even the obligation to be an advocate for the people of the Commonwealth. The treasurer can do all of the mandated jobs and responsibilities with diligence and with effectiveness, but they can also be the chief ambassador for economic matters in Kentucky. The person holding that job should be an advocate for smart and sensible budgeting, should be an advocate for finding new revenue, and at the very least creating conversations where we talk about how we solve the nightmare that is Frankfort's budget by bringing new revenue into the state. And above that, when it comes to issues of our tax system, our treasurer should be that ambassador and that leader and advocate when it comes to talking about fair and equitable tax reform that doesn't balance the budget on the backs of working class Kentuckians.
That's right.
You see, I believe that we can dream of a better Kentucky. And I believe that we can build a better Kentucky. And we can do that together. I believe that we can fully fund our public education, that we can honor our promises to Kentucky's public employees, that we can achieve a modern, new economy with new revenue without bankrupting this Commonwealth. I've lived an experience that's like so many of you and that's like so many other people across this Commonwealth. I wasn't born to wealth, and I'm not wealthy now in the financial sense. But I'm wealthy because I have friends like you and friends across this Commonwealth, and I have the wealth of believing in something greater for Kentucky than what we have now and what this governor is giving us. I look at each and every one of you and I think of the great things that we've accomplished for this city together. Now imagine with your help what we can do for Kentucky as a whole. I'm excited for what this next year holds for us, and I'm grateful that you're here for this journey that is this campaign, and I'm grateful that you're willing. You haven't unsubscribed from my emails yet. You haven't unliked my Facebook page yet. It really means a lot. And I'm excited for what we're going to do together down the road. So thank you for being here tonight. Thank you for your continued support. Thank you for your friendship. Now let's go do this and let's make a real impact for Kentucky.